Hello to Team Victorious Vickeries and our Waynesboro area Avon representatives. Hi guys, it's me, Kelly, coming out to you guys on this beautiful Saturday. So wish that I could be there with you all at lunch today. Kind of jealous that I'm not there actually. I always feel like I'm missing out on things when you're out doing Avon fun and I'm not with you. But I know that Sandra is for certain glad to have you guys all together, and I know that you guys are going to enjoy each other's company and probably conquer the Avon world today as you guys discuss some business and have a lot of fun. But what I want to do is just kind of come out to you with a few things, basically what I would say to you in the event that I could have been with you today, because it is an important time of the year, and it's always nice when we can get together. So even in this meeting together with you virtually. But I did just want to come out and say hey and essentially talk about where we're at right now. It's crazy to think we're halfway through the year. Isn't that wild? We're halfway through 2015. When you put that into an Avon perspective, we have 26 campaigns, right? So at the close of campaign 13, we were technically halfway through with our Avon year. So the fact that we're heading into campaign 17, yeah, we're beyond that halfway mark. And as I think about being at that halfway mark, I think that it's a really good time for us to stop and reflect. Where are we in our business? Where are we versus the goals that we set at the beginning of the year? Where are we at versus where we want to be? Whether it's with President's Club and where we're at with our sales, or growing a team and leadership and where we're at with our title. This is a really good time for us to kind of just do a touch base, see where we're at versus where we want to be, and then really make some plans to be sure that we execute between now and the end of the year so that you make those goals a reality. And the great thing is that in support of your efforts as we move along into the second half of the year, there's a lot of great things ahead of us. For starters, we have the holidays coming up. The holidays in and of themselves are just a fun time. It's fun. By default, your business will grow. You'll have more customers. It's easier to get recruits. It's easier to advance in title. People's sales are higher. People are making more. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of money. Actually, a lot of businesses do up to 70%. 70% of their annual business, October, November, and December. So we're really heading into some very, very important times and a lot of fun surrounding that. But in addition, kind of in correlation to that, Avon's really putting out a lot of fun programs, some new tools in your selling arsenal, and some incentives that are really going to help this second half of 2015 be your best yet and help you make whatever goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year, make them a reality at the end of the year. Let me just talk about a couple of those things, a little teaser, if you will. I don't have details on all of these, but I can tell you that I know in the second half of the year that somebody, possibly in our district, is going to earn $15,000. Actually, 40 representatives nationwide are going to earn $15,000. Okay, you didn't mishear me. 1500000. $15,000, a lot of money, and it could be you. Another incentive that we're doing, did you ever have interest in those fancy, the Apple iWatches? I know I wouldn't mind having one, and one could be yours in a fourth quarter incentive. And then last but not least, my favorite, now I love the money, and money talks, right? But I also love to take a cruise, and we're offering a cruise to hundreds of representatives, and their significant others. Actually, Avon is going to charter an Avon-only cruise, and you can be aboard. So that said, it's kind of like I said, dangling the carrots, so to speak, just to kind of let you know that we have a lot coming up in this second half of the year. So with that said, I know that August 1st seems like a far cry from the holidays, so I already mentioned that the holiday business is a very important time. But the reality is even though it's August 1st and it's 100 degrees, what we do right now to be preparing for the holidays can truly dictate the level of success that we have when the holidays are upon us. First, let me just start by saying we're in campaign 17 right now, right? Our first book that will feature Christmas is Campaign 20. So when you start thinking about what's new for Campaign 20, you're going to start seeing some of that in Campaign 18, Campaign 19. So essentially the holidays are here. But so as I preface that, I want to kind of follow up by saying, truly, even though it's 100 degrees and it's August, and the last thing that a lot of people are thinking about are the holidays, what you can do as an Avon business owner, as a primarily holiday-driven retail business person, is start growing your customer base today. What you do in August and September in regards to your customer base and your leadership team can truly impact your business come the holiday selling season. During the holiday selling season, your business is going to grow by default. People are going to shop more. You're going to have more customers, more new customers. Customers will be ordering a larger amount from you, campaign in and campaign out. So what if you have more new people, more customers purchasing from you now leading into the holidays? You maintain that and you grow that new that's going to happen by default. So think about that and think about what you can do to execute to make that a reality. Okay, so with that kind of being the basis of what I wanted to open your meeting with today, I want your call to action to be this. And I know that Sandra is chomping at the bit to dig under these pieces, but here's my ask of you, if you will. For starters, again, keeping in mind that the theme is all about making your goals a reality in the second half of the year, let's start with your sales. President's Club. Where are you at versus where you want to be? You have an awesome tracker on youravon.com under the PRP tab that doesn't just tell you where you're at versus the President's Club goal or versus the Honor Society goal. It also tells you what you need to average each and every campaign to make that goal. So take advantage of that tracker, but then break it down. You see the sales, then how many customers do you need to service every single campaign to make that on average campaign sales goal? It's up to you. Look at the tracker, see what the goals are, then you're going to have to execute that. All right, so that's ask number one. You guys talking about where you're at versus where you want to be in regards to President's Club. President's Club is the utmost achievement in regards to sales, and when you hit President's Club and you have that guaranteed 40% in earnings every single campaign, you will be sitting pretty in your Avon business, right? It will allow you to really grow your business beyond selling and just really have that comfort of that guaranteed earnings. So that's step number one. Step number two, where are you at in regards to your leadership business? If you're not in leadership, you are leaving money on the table. Yes, I know that it could seem awkward or scary, or you might be unsure, whatever the feeling that you feel when you hear, oh my gosh, manage Avon people. But here's the deal. You have a lot of support from Sandra or whoever your upline may be, to myself, to our district assistant, to a bevy of other representatives that you can connect with through our district events and Facebook and whatnot. The reality is that you have a lot of support. And so I say all that to say, you really need to consider leadership. You really need to think about who your first team member could be. Maybe it's somebody that you know who's like-minded, somebody like you who would like to make extra money, who would like to run their own business, and we need to get you started. The bonus opportunities for leadership are tremendous. And then when you add a residual income once you title, and the bonuses on top of that, it's really the most money that you could potentially make, truly. So then you add that to the earnings from your sales, and that's when you're maximizing the Avon opportunity. So again, where are you at versus where you want to be? If you're not in leadership, it's time to get in leadership. Get with Sandra or myself. We'll start helping you to get that first team member onboarded, or go out in the field and be recruiting. If you're already in leadership and you need a title, well then again, talk to Sandra and I so we could talk about recruiting your team members and how to develop your team, to really fundamentally develop your team. Then if you're unit leader and looking for a even higher title, again, same scenario. Let's talk about how we're going to make that happen. Let's put a plan in place. All right, so I want you guys to be thinking about that in the second half of the year, because again, by default, recruits will come more easily and sales will as well. So how can you really be maximizing that as you're simultaneously leveraging our programs and incentives? So that's kind of the basis, but a couple of things that I just want to take a step further in regards to these things with. For starters, when we think about where you're at versus where you want to be, it is about execution, guys. we can plan, you can track, you can look at where you're at versus where you want to be. You can see all the numbers, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a plan and if you don't execute, then it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't. You've got to get out there. Nobody can do it but you. And so as I quantify some of the numbers, when you look at the numbers and you look at what you need to do, if there was one suggestion that I could give you, it's a tried and true fundamental of the business. It's something that when I started as a manager 11 years ago, my gosh, when I started back then, it's something that I did for several years straight, and my business just, to say that it boomed is an understatement. It grew beyond my wildest dreams. It grew exponentially. But so I preface it by saying I want you guys to really think about how you can quantify the numbers and really know how you're going. And one tactic that you can do is called the power of 3. You've probably heard of it, but if you haven't, the power of 3 is simply you talking to 3 people about your Avon business every single day for 5 days a week. All right, you want to give them a book and you want to get their name and number. They don't count as one of your 3 people for the day if you don't get their name and number for follow-up. But think about it. If you talked to 3 people a day and gave them a book and you did that 5 days a week, you'd have 15 potential new customers or team members after just 1 week. If you did that consistently for a month, it's 60 new potential customers, 60 new potential team members. I mean, that's a lot, right? So you do that month in and month out, and you can only imagine how big your business would be. So again, you can track, which I want you to do, where you at versus where you want to be. But let's start putting a plan in place, and that's one good way to quantify it. The power of 3 is a really helpful tool. And then again, you got to be prepared. So how many books are you going to need to make the power of 3 happen? I already told you the number 60 is if you did it consistently through the month, you'd be talking to 60 incremental people more than what you're already talking to. So if you already have 30 customers, you're going to need at least 90 books, right? 60 for the power of 3 and then 30 for the customers you're already servicing. So think about those things. Something else I want you to do is I want you to know your business. I want you to think about, if you know a business owner, think about that business owner. You guys are in a restaurant that's right next to a florist. All right, let's talk about that florist. If she didn't know flowers, right, if she didn't know the things that she was selling and what her competition was, or just the ins and outs of the holidays and what drives her business, would she be successful? And the answer is no. Well, so it's no different for us. You guys need to be a representation of this business. And I'm not saying know everything, because I don't know everything. It's okay to not know everything, but it is important to use tools that we give to you to educate yourself as much as possible. So as you think about where you're at versus where you want to be, as you put a plan in place and you start to execute, I want you to simultaneously really understand the business. And the way I want you to do that is by getting onto Avon.com and taking advantage of one tool in particular, and that's Web TV. If you haven't watched Web TV, you are missing out. It's a monthly tool. It's about 30-45 minutes long every episode. But what I love about it is that it's broken into chapters, into smaller bite-sized pieces, so to speak, so that you can kind of break it up as you're able to view it, or kind of pick and choose some of the things that you want to see first that are priority. Maybe you want to learn about the newest incentive. Maybe you want to learn about the newest program. Maybe you want to learn about the newest product promotion that's coming out and how to sell it. It's all encompassed in that Web TV, and it's a tool that's really going to help you be knowledgeable about the business right now, because it's all about the campaigns that are happening right now. And that's what you want to focus on, right? That's what's going to help you communicate and consult to your customers, and in turn be that expert and be that representative of Avon. And I just don't mean independent representative, I mean representative of the brand, that expert, so to speak. So I want you to really take the initiative in knowing the business as best as you can. So finally, just based on what you want, make that plan and go for it. Fundamentally, we talked about the power of 3. Start there, right? But set some customer goals. If you haven't gotten to 10 customers per campaign, then get to 10 customers consistently. If you're at 10, get to 20 consistently. Set the goals. Use things like the power of 3 to quantify how you're going to get there. Know your business. through web TV and through tools like your tracker for PRP. And let's make the end of 2015, the second half of the year, our best yet. And keeping in mind that we're going to have a lot of fun come campaign 20 and beyond when it's October, November, and December and the holidays are crazy. But let's put the work in right now to grow our teams, to grow our sales, to grow our customers, so that as we head into the holidays, we are large and in charge and making more than ever. And then we're going to really have a lucrative holiday selling season. So with that said, I know I've just thrown a lot at you guys. And I know Sandra's kind of chomping at the bit to take this top line view and dig under it so that you guys can really put some more firm, specific plans in place, things that are specifically important to you. But as I close out, just want to say, y'all, fun. I do miss you. I can't wait to hear all about your meeting, and I want to leave you with a quote that really kind of ties it all together, and that is, you create the life that you want by the things that you do. Pretty simple, right? And I can't wait to see what you do. Go get them, guys. And again, have a great luncheon. We'll talk soon. Bye.